Hello, deep connectors. Ever notice how one small decision can turn a great day into chaos? And it's a bit like eating fast food, then everything goes wrong. So let's talk a little bit about why letting go of that control might be your secret weapon in dating. Navigating life's unexpected waves in dating. We all face dips in life that we can control. When vibes spiral down and life hits hard, how do we respond? So life is unpredictable. Nature is unpredictable. So first I would say accept uncertainty. Some things are beyond our control. And as soon as you can realize this and tattoo it in your forehead or in your heart, if you want to be more warm, you will be better off your day to day. Second would be find balance between planning and going with the flow. Sometimes we are more planning like, sometimes we are more like going in the flow. In my case, I was more going in the flow. So I had struggles planning things, organizing ideas, structures. But the clients I used to teach were kind of the opposite of me. More people that were planning, engineers that were doing logistical stuff constantly. Even though I am a sound engineer in my diploma, well, I kind of understand that, but I had to work a lot in the planning. So the point is to balance these two, all right? And third would be to stay open to unexpected possibilities and connections. So when you stay open, it's really open. It's non-judgmental. And sometimes you can say, yeah, but I'm open. No, like everybody judges certain things. So you have to be very careful when you meet someone and look what is your judgment towards that person. And that judgment is the thing that is blocking you from moving forward. Is the thing that you are seeing in yourself that you are lacking. And so therefore you judge it. So unexpected wins. When you accept uncertainty, these surprise blessings happen. Good things often happen when you least expect them. We always say that. I always say to my clients, when you go to a bar, when you go to a club, when you go just in the street or a social event, and perhaps you will, meet someone, a girl. If you have the frame of, oh, I will meet a girl, most probably it won't work. It's mostly when you are open to the idea of meeting people and those people will bring you in a situation where you will meet that girl and it will happen. Of course, you have to put yourself in the situation, but expecting you will have an outcome because you are in the situation as well is bad. So be careful with that. So release control. Sometimes letting go leads to better outcomes than planning. As we said before, is very similar. And room for growth. So unexpected situations create opportunities for personal development. When small choices spiral. So, for example, today I had to come to my dad's place to build a shelter. And the day before I ate a cheeseburger. And that made my stomach burp and have a lot of noises. I couldn't sleep well, so my alarm sounded and I woke up, but I was slower than I thought. And so that made me arrive to the train station very late. Then I went into the train and I didn't pay my ticket. So when the ticket guy came, I had to pay double. Then when I arrived to the station of my father's place, I went in my little scooter and the scooter broke and so on. And things, have you ever had that, like you start the day because a little thing and then it goes wrong in a spiral? And when you have that spiral, you have to acknowledge, okay, it's those moments, so just let it go, instead of just thinking like, oh, this is, you expect the bad thing that is going to happen. Just say, okay, it's one of those days that I going down and there is something that provoke it. So all of this is to say that dating with expectations, it's a trap. Okay, when you plan things, it will be a trap that you're putting yourself in. When you approach dating with rigid expectations, you set yourself up for disappointment. The conversation feels forced and chemistry feels manufactured. Instead of the curiosity of approach, you stay open to whatever happens. You are present in the moment. You ask questions from genuine interest, and you let connections form naturally. So curiosity versus control, and here you can see really one and the other, and how you can use disciplined curiosity, because as we say, disciplined curiosity is a bit the mix of the flow and the planning, right? So being curious requires its own form of discipline. It means staying open while maintaining boundaries. So when you go to a party, for example, and you have to work the next day, well, probably it's better to say, okay, let's go for a party, and then you put an alarm or like a timer of 1 hour, and you go, you party, perhaps you don't drink alcohol, and then you have fun, then you come back to your place at the time required for you to have your 8 hours of sleep, and then you go to work next time. So it's that allowance that you give yourself to have fun, but at the same time it's like controlled fun that helps you be alive, but also not losing yourself in this world of flow, right? So then we have flexible strength, like a tree bending in wind rather than breaking, adapting to circumstances while staying rooted. And it's very interesting when you have a material like wood, if it's too rigid, when it's too dry, if you bend it a little bit, it will crack. But if it's a bit wet and more flexible, you can see you can make a shape, you can make sculptures, something that is a little bit more rounded, more creative. So again, this is what curiosity and planning creates, this bending, this creativity. This. In the other side, we have rigid control, like the fast food example. One sleep derails everything, creates brittle system that breaks under pressure. And it's okay. Again, sometimes you do things like the cheeseburger that I did, but then you accept that you did something wrong, and then kind of you overcompensate, but very slowly and with a lot of care of yourself to come back to this neutrality, this vibration that it's going up, but not that fast, but just like surfing. And if you wouldn't do that, like for example, if you say like, oh fuck, I eat a cheeseburger and now I'm going to become fat, now I broke protocol, and you feel bad about it, so more bad things will happen. So disappointment happens, so you start controlling everything because you set unrealistic expectations, and reality rarely matches our perfect mental picture anyways. So where to plan, where to let go? You can plan logistics, right? Like catching the train, meeting deadlines, financial goals. You can let go in connections, first dates, new friendships, family dynamics. Like for example, when you have a date and you see that it's going very well and there is some motion, there is some fire on it, and for example she wants to come back to your place or you want to come back to her place, and you have something the day after, well, perhaps you can make an exception, and you should treat relationship with the same importance that you have with your work. So embrace messiness. You know, life rarely follows a plan. Surprises bring growth, and imperfection, it's human at the end. Here is something that you can practically do when something bad happens or something derails in your life. And this is one, accept the disruption. So my bicycle broke too, just another unexpected moment in my life. Then second, find humor on it. That's a perfect way of dealing with this cheeseburger, this bike broken, and this frustrating moment, but it can be laughable too. And third, so your balance check, reflect, check where you need structure versus where to let go, adjust, find your personal balance between planning and openness, connect. Real connections happen when we release rigid expectations. And until next time, remember, you are loved, and see you soon, Deep Connectors.